Welcome back, everyone, to another Love to Live discussion. Today, we're going to talk about consistency just as a subject and how we can do things every day that help us to be more connected to our life and ultimately then be in a space where we can learn to enjoy whatever's going on much more authentically. So, today, I think I'm going to start by talking about journaling. Recently, a close friend of mine has been suggesting to me that journaling is one way of putting whatever you have in your head down on paper for a better purpose of clarity that they then have throughout the day. And it makes sense to me. So from today onwards, I am writing just something down in a book that I'm going to call a journal. It can be diary entries, it can be letters, whatever form you want to call it. As I'm doing, what I'm going to do is start writing down something that I've either had happen to me during the day or that I've been thinking about that I want to do for the next day. And I'm basically going to look back, depending on whether I write at night or in the morning. I think nighttime consistently works for me. So at night, I'm going to write down, before I sleep, a list of at least three things that I appreciate about the day. And then one thing, at least one thing that I'm going to try to achieve tomorrow. And this then puts me in a continuous cycle as long as I stay true to myself and keep writing something down every day in a positive feedback loop of firstly admiring and appreciating the things that I've done throughout the day. So amplifying my state of gratitude right before I sleep, which is a pretty cool thing to do. And then also setting myself up for the next day by thinking about the thing that I would like to achieve and accomplish. Give an example. Today, I could write about the fact that I had an excellent breakfast. It tasted really nice. The second thing could be the fact that it was raining here today, but the rain felt warm to me. It was a humid sort of temperature when it was raining. I can actively and still distinctively remember that as I was walking. And thirdly, I got to record this amazing episode and share some of my thoughts. And something that I can write down for tomorrow could be I would like to get up, and the first thing I do is perhaps have a sip on water and then get down. And because personally I like to be fit, or at least physically active, get down and do 20, let's say 30 push ups. So I write this down in my journal, the things that I look back over and the things I'm looking forward to achieve tomorrow. And that puts me in a great mindset right before I go into sleep. So as I sleep, the body does what it needs to do, cell repair, and then the mind will also begin to start to calculate how I can make the things that I want to achieve, even if it's 30 push ups. How can I make that possible? Then I'll wake up in the morning with that still on my mind because it was actively the last thing I was remembering and thinking about. I'll get down and do the 30 push ups. And then after that, I'll just have to see what happens. I don't know yet, but I'll keep you updated. So these simple and excitable things that you can then make part of your life is one way that we can increase our consistency in doing something that will put us in a positive feedback loop and then actively start to change our life for the better. We will then start to enjoy our life more because we're actively setting ourselves up for successes. Don't put a number or a quantitative measure on the success. Just put down something that you would like to achieve, something that you know physically you can do tomorrow. Start off with smaller things, like have 5 minutes of morning breath work. So the first thing you do, you could get up, sit in your bed, potentially have a sip of water, and then just listen to your breath or feel your breath for 5 minutes before you go about your day. Actively, I do this. This centers me. This allows all the thoughts or whatever accumulation that I've built up in my body while sleeping, could be in the forms of dreams. It allows them to kind of organize themselves while you just step away from all of that. You're letting all the thoughts, all that sort of stuff that's going on in your head to do what it needs to do. Because the first thing you've done now, once you've woken up, is to sit back and just breathe. Something fundamental, something that we can all do. I can guarantee that. Just sit back and breathe for 5 minutes. And if you do that, even for 1 or 2 minutes throughout your day, if you can find a time to remind yourself, you can set reminders on your phone. You can set reminders by writing things down on a piece of paper. To take a minute out and just breathe. That in itself will become a habit and a form of consistency. Because we're breathing anyway. The body's got to breathe anyway, so why not take time to recognize the fact that we're breathing, even if it's for 30 seconds throughout your day. It could just be one 30-second chunk. After lunch, before bed, after you wake up. It doesn't matter what time you do it. But if you can implement something small, like just being aware of your own breath, then these are powerful ways that you can become consistent. And this will spread into major aspects that you consider to be part of your life, in work or future endeavors. These small ways of just being aware of your breath allow this success that you ultimately then start to build in your life. These accomplishments that, yes, you are capable of achieving because you're now proving yourself. This success will spread into other aspects of your life because it's now becoming part of who you are. So because you're successful in one aspect, that success then will become more and more universal to you as a person. So we can talk about consistency, but what does that really mean? How can we stay doing something? So I like to use the example of just taking time to notice your breath. See if you can do that just for one portion of time throughout your day. And that's what consistency is in a practical, everyday term, in my opinion. And that's how we can actively become consistent rather than just talking about what it means to us. That's my take on consistency. And it helps to journal. That's where the journaling aspect comes into it. It helps to journal. You can be consistent in your journaling. And that ultimately then sets you up to be more consistent in the things that you're trying to achieve. You're writing it down, so you're now having a physical way of holding you accountable to something that you want to achieve. So that's one of the excellent benefits of putting pen to paper or writing it on your phone. But physically taking something that you have up here and putting it down holds you to another level of accountability rather than just saying it to yourself. Even better, maybe telling a friend if you have one. So by journaling is one way to hold yourself more accountable to then ultimately be able to be more consistent. So that's just one way of helping build consistency in your life. And that consistency allows you then to be more aware of the things that you are doing in your life. Because there's a certain thing that you're already doing each and every day with full awareness, shall we say. You're aware that you know you want to do 30 seconds of breathing. You're aware that you know you want to do 30 push ups every morning. So, because you're aware of something that you're now being consistent with, this awareness will also grow into other aspects of your life. And that's where true happiness starts to stem, by being aware of what's going on right now, by allowing the things that are happening right now to bring you a certain level of happiness, to start to just notice that, you know what, it's pretty good. Things are pretty good right now. And if they're not, then the practice and the discipline that you will ultimately build through consistency will make you a stronger, resilient person to then be able to deal with certain things in your life that you might have not been able to from before. It will strengthen the way you think about things in your mind with time. Practice building a level of consistency. Start off small, like, for example, the 30 seconds of breathing a day. And this then resilience that you build in your mind, because you're now able to prove to yourself that you can do something consistently, then allows you to then face more adversity with more strength in your heart, knowing that I can already do something. I'm proving to myself that I am already consistent in something. Why can't I be more consistent in overcoming these situations and challenges that might pop up in my life? That's just one way of looking at it. What do you think?
Honestly, it's more than something thought can even put its power on. It's absolutely something which comes from the power of your will. And as Vire asked, what do you think? Absolutely, every thought matters. But the thought takes the shape and the manifestation when you act on it, right? Just imagine this scenario. Try to imagine the cosmos in your head, in your mind. Every day, we are bounded by this rhythm of 24 hours. Every organism, every human being, every person with different status, with different timeline, with different background, everyone, they are having this 24 hours of time limit for one day. We are having 7 days in a week. We are having all these beautiful conjugated disciplines of life. The sun is rising without a fail every morning because the sun is performing its responsibilities. The sun is taking the responsibility of his own duty. Similarly, we can see the same pattern in the functioning of the moon. This entire cosmos is working on the basis, on the foundation of discipline. And it is not like a resolution that they are taking on a New Year's Eve or maybe on a Christmas Eve that yeah, for this year I will behave, I will do like this, I will do like that. Nah, it is a discipline of life. If there would have been a fraction of here and there between the calculations of how the cosmic structure is designed, there would have been absolutely chaos. There would have been absolutely chaos. That is how stars have been built, because there was destruction. There was a burst of energy, the stars have been built. And even in that chaos, there was beautiful, charismatic creation. That is one way of looking at it. Ramakrishna Paramahansa always said that joto moth, toto path. As many opinions, that many path. As many ways, that many conclusions. But all the conclusion at the end leads to that one truth, that is you. You are living. You are the power. You are the energy. Every time, every day, we wake up, we feel different emotions. What we felt today might not be the same what we felt yesterday. But even among all these feelings, our heart, our soul, our every existence craves for happiness, craves for relaxation, craves for peace.
Absolutely.
To find happiness, to find peace, you must evoke, you must give rise and give birth to that happiness and peace within. And how to do that? Absolutely simple discipline. But yeah, simple said than done. As Veere beautifully explained, some of the patterns, some of the practices that you can implement in your life regarding discipline, some other additional from some spiritual aspect as well as practical aspects. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back counting. This amazing way of instantly fighting your procrastination. Whenever we think of something, our mind also puts us into a situation, into a dilemma. Are you in the mood to do that? Are you really feeling so motivated to do that? Even though you know that this is a priority, you have to do the work. Suppose, starting with the morning, sometimes waking up early in the morning, trying to be one with the resolution, like suppose waking up 7 in the morning. It's a drag sometimes, but you can absolutely overcome it. Once you have overcome, once you have conquered the starting of your day, believe me, you will feel that power of a conqueror, feel the power of a king spirit within you.
Absolutely. And one way that we can link this back to another practical example, it's good to tell yourself that there's there's a positive light at the end of the reason why you're doing this.
Absolutely.
You know, as he's just saying that you are in control of now the next few actions that you take for the rest of your life. So how can we make ourselves enjoy life a bit more? Building a level of discipline. As the entire world around us, birds, beasts, humans, and everything else in between, has a sort of way of nature and a law of order, you can kind of say. We can too bring this into our lives. So how do we do that? Again, through consistency. I was looking at an example that the eye, with all of its cells, are so intricately and perfectly arranged together that if one of these cells were out of place, even by the slightest amount, someone could be born blind. So, just in that absolute perfect way of order, we too can become something like that as a person. We can become someone who really strives and achieves what they set out to. We can really become the best version of ourselves by implementing small things in our life that start with small amounts of effort and consistency. So next time you kind of think to yourself, how can I achieve something massive in life that I want to, even if you don't know what that might be? I want to be someone, I want to do something. Ask yourself first, can I start off small and be consistent to one thing?
Nice.
And it can be just 30 seconds of being aware of how you're breathing in the morning. Start off by being consistent to just one small thing and allow that positive momentum that you create to then leak into other aspects of your life.
Absolutely.
So from us, enjoy and we'll see you soon.